Enduring an indeterminate sentence of coercive confinement, Richard I. Fine isn't just languishing in jail. He's fighting furiously, exercising every legal option available.
Then I'll go into the California Supreme Court, and if the California Supreme Court doesn't enter the stay, then I'll go into the United States District Court. Sooner or later, I will win.
There is a team of dedicated activists who are doggedly working to support his cause. We caught up with Fred Sotilli, who was running legal documents from the LA Central Men's Jail to Federal Express.
Yep, got about a half an hour to get it all done.
Wow. We invited him to come inside and explain what he and his group are doing to help Mr. Fine. He explained the tremendous impediments Mr. Fine has to overcome to continue his fight while incarcerated.
Well, he's in a cell that's very small. You can almost touch all four walls. It really is that small. And in his cell, he doesn't have too many accoutrements. He has to write with a pencil that as it goes dull, the writing becomes more and more difficult to read. It's not a nice, crisp, brand new pencil all the time, especially when you're writing a 50-page document. And this is that document. This is his handwritten, all these pages, page after page. He did this. Now, in his cell, he has a bunk bed. He's in solitary, so there's no one in there with him. He's really lonely. He sleeps on the bottom one, and he stands, and he uses the top one as his desk. He uses the back pages to support the next page so that he has a writing surface. And he literally stood on his feet. He's a 69-year-old man. He stood on his feet at a bunk bed with a pencil, and he wrote this 59 pages. Once I had this, the fun began. I had to rush home, and I had to make this into this.
Now, tell me, why did you have to rush?
The man has been in jail for 5 3/4 months.
Now going on to 6 months of solitary confinement. Every week, Fred Sotilli and his team carry the next appeal from Mr. Fine to the court. And to get the appeals into a form that the court will accept is an arduous task.
When I scanned them, I emailed them one at a time, because you have to scan it and you have to attach it and send it. So on her end, she downloaded 50 pages of this and she began to type. The judges who ultimately read this, they only act on this on a Monday. So if they don't have it in their hand on Monday, they're not going to work on it till the following Monday. And he sits in jail for another week.
And another week of Mr. Fine's life is wasted in jail. But he isn't sitting idle. He has filed brief after brief. And every week the various courts use the bureaucracy to allow his case to languish, sometimes by simply ignoring him in violation of the law.
He's never had any opposition. Every time he files one of these things, there's no response. So his writ of habeas corpus, there's no response. There's no reaction. They just say, "No, we're not letting you out." They don't have a written response that he can respond to, and by law they have to.
Is it just sloppiness or incompetence?
No, I would love it if it were that. I would love it if this is intentional. You don't make mistakes month after month. I could see if a judge missed something. I could forgive that. Anybody could. I could see if something was a day or two late. It could happen. It's hard for me to file this stuff on time. It's always an emergency for me. I'm always running out of time. A couple of weeks ago, they sent out, I believe it was an order to show cause, but they sent it to a business address that he used to use, and that sat there. And if we didn't respond to that order to show cause, we would have been in trouble for a procedural mistake. They probably would have thrown the whole case out and used that as the reason. But amazingly, because there's about a dozen people who are constantly reading what they call PACER, which is an accounting of what happens in each court each day. It's something that goes on the internet, and it gives an account of what happened. Some of our other people in our group, one of them discovered something on PACER, and they called us and they said, "Do you guys realize that a week ago an order to show cause was mailed to this other address, and we were never going to respond to it because we didn't have it. We didn't know about it." I mean, they did the right thing in putting it on Pacer, but they did the sleazy thing by sending it to an address where it would never be found. They have basically, well, I think you understand. It's really a low blow. It's really a cheap. They cheated. Anyway, they could have done the ethical thing, but they did the sleazy thing. So, anyway, we discovered that, and we responded to it in time. You know, as we always have.
And so these dedicated activists had to prepare the latest brief and get it to the court by Friday, so the judges would have it on Monday.
Monday morning, we had our work cut out for us. We knew we had to create this. We knew it would have to be overnighted on Thursday, so it could be received on Friday, so the judges would have it in their hand Monday.
And where are the judges?
In San Francisco.
I see.
It's the Ninth Circuit Court in San Francisco. It doesn't get any higher. After that, it's the Supreme Court.
Will the case of Richard I. Fine go all the way to the highest court in the land? Is that where Mr. Fine will finally get the justice he's been fighting so hard to win? Mr. Sotilli is fearful that the Supreme Court won't rise to the occasion and instead protect their own fellow judges in the lower courts, just as all the lower courts have done.
Ultimately, if the Supreme Court doesn't do the right thing, if they support the corrupt judges in the state here in California, then we will know, with no question about it, that the entire United States supports a judiciary and a law that state that judges can just do whatever they want, any way they want, any time they want, to anyone they want.
Would you say then that it would be the end of the rule of law?
Absolutely it will be. That is the moment. That will be the moment when law no longer matters, because, see, law is a level playing field. If you have real law and everybody, the people, the attorneys, and the judges, and everybody all agree and respect that law, and their decisions and actions are based on that law, you have the rule of law. Then law rules. But if you can take those laws and disregard them and do whatever you want, the rule of law is finished, and now the rule of the judiciary stands. The Bar Association and the courts themselves and the judges themselves will decide the fate of every individual in America, either one at a time or in groups.
What can people do? We asked Mr. Sotilli, as concerned citizens, how can people help support his efforts to free Mr. Fine and to bring accountability back to our judicial system?
What I'd like to ask from everybody who sees this is, first, the easy thing, the real easy thing, is to go to freerichardfine.com and donate money. The movement needs money. It needs to grow. It needs to be funded. This stuff all costs money, and it's really important that they do. But even more important than that is to expand the word of this. Spread this throughout the land far and wide. Contact your politicians at the localist level, at the most local level, at the federal level, at every level. Everybody has to become aware of this and join in and work on it. Everybody has to write a letter to somebody, send an email to somebody, a fax. This has to be a topic of conversation. Never mind what the celebrities are doing or what they're paying for ball players or anything like that. This is the entire structure of our country is coming apart. This applies to everybody. Every single person has to become involved in this. It's the most important thing that to happen in my lifetime. It's the end of America. So donate, yeah, that's easy. Anybody can write a check or use a credit card or something, and it should be done. But raise awareness of this. The importance can't be stressed too much.
And so Fred Sotilli is the new freedom rider of the 21st century as he continues to ride the highways of Los Angeles, carrying the struggle of Mr. Richard I. Fine from the Los Angeles County Jail to the highest court in California. Will he be successful? Will Richard Fine finally be free? Will the judges in Los Angeles County be brought to justice? Only time and our individual support will tell.